Welcome to Backseat Confessions Podcast. Slide into the backseat as we listen to mostly anonymous strangers tell us stories from their lives. I'm a rideshare driver in Atlanta, and the people getting in my car have absolutely no idea I'm going to ask them to share. My commitment to you is to tell at least a snippet of virtually every story recorded in my car in the order they were told to me. My hope is that you laugh, cringe, cry, but mostly connect to these amazing people. You may find a piece of your own story, or just feel more connected to the rest of us. Join us, won't you? So, hey, my new friend, this is an adult podcast. Themes and languages are definitely not suitable for everyone. Listener discretion is advised. The new car smell. When the leather looks, smells, and feels so good. Almost the same feeling as a new podcast smell. You can almost catch the whiff of goodness as you climb aboard, close the door, and get ready to meet our new cast of characters that are here to share their stories while we ride. Enjoy. Our first writer today is a perfect example of you never know what all a person is dealing with or has lived through when you meet them, especially when they have a bright, sunny personality.
Story number 199. Saturday, March 27th, 2021, 3:28 p.m.
So in 8th grade, I found out that I was adopted.
Oh, wow. That's craziness.
Yeah, I didn't know, didn't even have a clue. And one of my friends told me they had a secret, and that was her secret. She told me in band class. And
Wait, how in the heck did your friend know the secret and you didn't? That makes no sense.
So her mom told her that, you got a friend named Zoe, and she's adopted. And she just had found out, so it was like, we were in 8th grade.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell her.
I'm just going to tell her. Yeah, the worst secret keeper ever as an 8th grade girl. Come on, man.
The worst secret I could ever get. And she told me in band class, and I didn't believe it. I looked so much like my parents, so really? I didn't believe it. I went home, and my mom was like, well, this is true. And boom.
Oh, my God.
And then I just recently met her in 2017.
Your biological?
My biological mom.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. Okay, so, God, I have so many questions. Tell me, like overall, how was your life with your adoptive parents?
It was great.
Okay, so you had a good life.
Yeah, I had a good life with my adopted parents, but then when I found out that I was adopted, everything kind of stuff started making sense. So,
give me an example of that.
Well, there were no pictures of me like 1 to 2. So it was just, I didn't remember anything. So it was a great life. I still have a good life now, but meeting my mom, that I think that kind of backfired on me.
Did it really? Like, how did it backfire on you?
Well, I had so many expectations meeting her, and then it failed, and then...
So she just didn't live up to what you kind of would have hoped.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So...
Which I've heard that's a pretty common thing with... I mean, sometimes you get pleasantly surprised, but a lot of times it's like, oh, that's why I got put up for adoption.
Yeah. I mean, and I have a sister and a brother by her. Okay. And we can't get along, none of us. So I just had to I met her, and that's all I wanted to do.
Wow. So on your biological side, you just kind of walked away from it and was this is not for me.
Yeah. It kind of went like sour. Like we met, like physically met, and then that weekend. I just seen a lot of things, and then once she left, it was kind of like she didn't want to talk to me anymore.
Wow, I cannot imagine a mother not wanting connection with her daughter. Oh my God.
I mean, I think she's a person that wanted emotional connection since she just didn't have that with me. I don't know, she didn't raise me, so maybe she didn't feel like.
Yeah, but you got to give that time. You've not been in your life.
It just ended. I don't know. It just ended. We just are two totally different people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just obviously you just stepped in my car, but I sense from you that you're a very well-adjusted, happy, bright, upbeat person. So that's amazing. It's amazing, though, that or I shouldn't say it's amazing. It's really cool that a story like that, which could have had a whole bunch of different ways it could have gone, it didn't. It hasn't seemed to really hurt you in a long-term way. You're okay. That's just amazing. Okay, she's like, okay. No, but I'm just telling you. Hey, listen, we're all a little weird.
I probably could give you a whole nother story just off of that story.
Right.
After meeting her, it kind of took. I did kind of. I don't know. I spiraled.
That makes sense.
Very much. I spiraled, and my name is Zoe,
and
I was in a DUI accident, and it kind of I was spiraling so much that kind of was the last point for me. So after that, I got myself together, and then I had a baby. So now it's just
You had which I will say, I would understand after getting that news that there would be that, okay, what is my life built on? It's nothing I know. It's real. That is completely normal. I think what I'm looking at is you right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you didn't have a time in your life. We all have those times where we all spiral because of one or 1,000 things. But you seem like you're in a good place now.
Yeah, I was in the military too. So I was,
Which branch?
Air Force.
Oh, that's where the smart people go.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for your service.
Army.
Oh, yeah, no. My son's in the Marine Corps. He would say that you're just like a bunch of crayon eaters. But of course, you'd say that about the Marine Corps. So that's awesome. No, the Air Force, though, that's definitely where the smart people go.
Yeah.
And I know my son went because he was feeling like he had all this potential that he wasn't tapping into, and it was going to kind of kick his butt and get him in shape. What were your reasons for going in?
I went in I just went in because I just didn't want to be home anymore.
You were you wanted out.
Yeah, like since 8th grade, I feel like I was a whole identity crisis. Yep. So I've been trying to figure out what I wanted to do, what to do.
Yeah.
And the military was like, okay, well, you can at least leave and get have a check and everything.
Right.
So I just left, and I hated it, but
there you go. So did you do your 4 years and then you said deuces?
Oh no, so you getting a lot of stories out of me. So I broke my foot in the military. I was stationed in Montana, and it was snow and everything else.
So you were one of 10 black people in all of Montana.
Oh yeah, one of 3 or 4.
Yeah. I love it.
And I got a surgery on that foot, and they took the wrong bone out. So now I'm medically disabled. I mean, I can do everything, but to them, I'm medically disabled. Yeah. So
how do you take? Oh man, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. They took the wrong bone out.
They took the wrong. So I was born with an extra bone already in my foot.
Okay.
And they found that out, but they took the wrong one out. So, yeah.
God. Wow. So you've had a little bit of an interesting life.
Oh yeah. Wow. I mean, we could talk all day.
I like it. You're like a wealth of stories. How? Totally just switching tracks, but how is being a mom for you?
It's tough.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. I just went through a divorce.
Jeez, I'm so sorry. Oh.
I just went through I think the outside of me is just really upbeat and happy.
Yeah.
But I mean, the core, But I just recently went through a divorce. She's 2.
Okay.
She basically saved my life.
Did she really?
Yeah, she basically. It was immediately after my DUI.
Wow.
So she really saved my life.
So she was your reason for hanging in there.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. Wow.
I was getting out. It was just so much going on at the time that's why I say that. It was a DUI. I'm getting out the military.
Yeah.
It was just so much packed on the one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So and then I recently just got a divorce.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I've been through one of those. That's not fun either, is it?
Oh hell no.
No. Yeah. And by the way, it's an adult podcast. You can cuss or say whatever you want. Yeah. There's no limits. Man. Wow, Miss Zoe, that is what an amazing. But I know, I'm not trying to I promise I'm not trying to like brush over any of the hard stuff. Like I think the hard stuff makes us, like helps form us. But I believe there's a difference between what we go through, the worst parts about ourselves, and then who we are at our core.
Yeah.
And I think what I'm telling you, because I don't know all of the other stuff, all I can tell is who you are at your core. That again, like you are actually a beautiful lady on the outside, but there's something beautiful about you on the inside. Like there's a joy. There is like I don't know, like there's something infectious about you in a really positive way. Yeah. So I just want you to know that, again, coming from the outside, I don't know all the hard stuff until you told me, which is all like a part of your story. You can't, like, all that stuff is so important. But yeah, it's just kind of amazing to me that you've maintained that joy and the goodness that's at the core of you through all this. Yeah,
it definitely made me, the person that I am. But I like to be joyous rather than anything else. But, like I deal with like a little bit of anxiety and stuff.
Of course.
I think everybody has
everybody in your age group does.
Yeah.
Everybody.
100%. We're the anxiety generation.
Yes,
so.
For sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I think everything just works out for me in the long run. Like,
that's right.
At the time, I probably think it's the fucking end of the world. But
of course.
Yeah, everything
like
works
we all do.
out.
Yeah. And then you realize later, like, A, it's not the end of the world, and then B, this tragedy will come out somehow in a way that I couldn't have expected, but there'll be something good that comes from it. That happens to me. Every one of the tragedies in my life, I can point to something amazing that's come from it. So, wow. Well, man, thank you so much for sharing. Like,
thank you. I love this.
Thank you.
I wish more people did this. This would be fun.
Yeah, it's great. The idea when it came to me, it's been. Well, I don't want to waste the podcast time. I'll talk to you about it off. But yeah, it's. I don't know anybody else doing anything like it, and I think it's so much fun.
It's dope.
Thank you so much. You're amazing.
Thank you.
I really appreciate her determination to stay as joyful as possible, even though the things she has walked through are not easy. To not know you're adopted, to walk through a divorce, or to have the military remove the wrong bone from your body, any one of those things are big challenges. But to get all of them and still be one of the beautiful ones, that's inspiring. Keep your chin up, my friend. So the next story just happens to be the 200th story told to me, and luckily, it's a good one. This guy meets more celebrities than almost anyone I've ever met.
Story number 200. Saturday, March 27, 2021, 7:01 p.m.
So I used to have this really crazy job selling magazines.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you the story of how I met Miley Cyrus at the height of Hannah Montana and had no idea who she was.
That's awesome. Okay.
So I had this job. We would sell magazine subscriptions door to door, traveling all around the country.
Oh, wow.
So we were in Los Angeles. And me and this guy, they had other kids from around the country. So me and this guy, David, from New Orleans, we were like best friends.
Yeah.
Was out working in this neighborhood. It was kind of early. Not a lot of people were home. So we decided we're going to take this little break, sit on the curb and smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
You'd think we were crazy, smoking cigarettes on the corner.
Right.
In this predominantly uppity white neighborhood, and these two black guys, one with cornrows.
I love
and the other one has this thick New Orleans accent.
Oh, yeah.
So as we're sitting there smoking, we notice this Range Rover drives by.
Okay.
And the lady in the driver's seat is just smiling and waving.
Oh, wow.
And I look a little bit closer in the passenger seat, and I'm like, yo, that's the achy break heart dude.
No.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Billy Ray Cyrus. Man, I haven't thought about that guy in a minute.
That was him in the passenger seat.
Wow.
So he was like, that must have been his wife, Trish, driving. Back then the internet was just beginning. It really wasn't on phones, so we wasn't able to look it up.
Right, yeah.
So we looked and saw where the truck went to. We got up, straightened ourselves up, sprayed a little cologne, and ran to the house.
Yeah.
So this girl answers the door, and we was like, hey, we just saw your dad came in. Your mom was waving at us and stuff, so we thought we'd stop by and tell him what we were doing.
Yeah.
So she leaves, and she comes back. She was like, my dad said, he just got home. Give him about 20 minutes and come back. He'll love to see what you guys are doing. And I was like, just out of curiosity, that's Billy Ray Cyrus, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah. I was like, okay, cool. So me and him get real excited. We go knock a couple of doors, and this lady 3 doors down answers. Classic housewife, getting ready to go play tennis.
Right.
So we're sitting out on her screen porch, sipping lemonade, telling her what we're doing. And we tell her, like, yeah, we just went to Billy Ray Cyrus' house. And she was like, oh, really? What did he say? I was like, well, his daughter came and said, to come back in 20 minutes. That's how we ended up down here. Yeah. And she goes, oh, you met Miley Cyrus. And we was like, oh, that's his daughter's name? Oh, okay. She was like, yeah, that's Hannah Montana. We were like, Hannah Montana? And we looked at each other. Like I said, I'm from Atlanta. Yep. He's from New Orleans. Yep. And this job we did 6 days a week. Yep. Sundays we traveled. So we looked at each other. We was like, we know Billy Ray Cyrus didn't name his daughter Hannah Montana. Yeah. And she looks at us like, you don't know who Hannah Montana is? We were like, no. Wow. And she was the biggest thing in the world. You literally couldn't go into a Walmart or a Target or anywhere and not see her plastered on everything. Exactly. It was insane. So when we ended up going back to the house, Trish answered. Okay. Let us in, and it was like we were instant groupies almost. We were like, we just heard about who you were. We sorry we didn't recognize you. And that's so cool, dude. And she was like, it's actually kind of refreshing because, that's why my mom and dad went out, because it's hard for me to leave the house. Oh, yeah, everybody recognizes me. But they were so cool and end up spending almost $900 on magazines. Dang, bro, are you serious? Yeah, they spent over $400 with each of us. Made our day. We was just able to kind of hang out and tell people our story for the rest of the day. That is so amazing. And I remember, that's so cool. I love it when famous people end up just being such down-to-earth good people. And I've heard that he's a really nice guy. And then, what's the song with Lil Nas, the Country Road or whatever? Yeah, Old Country Road. Old Country Road. And remember the industry was kind of giving him a hard time because it was kind of rap and all this stuff. And then he stuck up for him and then did the duet or whatever. Yeah, the collab. Video. Yeah. And no, he's that kind of guy where you can tell. From what you hear, anyways, in real life, he's a legit guy, just a good dude. I mean, I remember, and it was crazy because I actually remember doing that achy breaky heart dance routine when I was in the 5th grade. Wow! For this talent day or something they had. Dang! Wow! Man, I have another one if you got time. Let's do it, bro. Yeah, we got 9 minutes. Let's go. All right, so I actually got a chance to get high with Snoop Dogg. Oh, come on! Yes. So doing the same job was out in LA in this town called Diamond Bar. Yeah. And I'm talking to this younger guy, and he's into it and everything, and he just happened to go, hey, so Snoop Dogg lives down the street. I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, so you come out this subdivision, go back to the main road, make a left, and it's a big subdivision on the right called the Country. Okay. So when my supervisor comes back and picks me up, I'm all excited, I'm going crazy. Yeah. We ride by there, and it's locked down like Fort Knox. Oh, dang. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, there's a subdivision right next door. So I was like, just drop me off here. I'll figure something out. Yep. So I get out of the van, they pull off. I kind of walk around the neighborhood a little bit, and I start smoking a cigarette. So for some reason, there were some woods. I just started walking through the woods. Yeah. I was like, let me just see. Yeah. So as I can start to see the clearance, they have a fence, but it's no more than 2 feet off the ground. I put my cigarette out and I start running. And I end up in somebody's back side yard. So it was their backyard, but it was on the side of their house. So I wasn't directly behind somebody's house. Okay. So as I got out to the street, I remember the guy said, well, if you've seen his reality show, it's the same house, the couple of cars that's in the front yard. Yeah. So I start running around this neighborhood trying not to look suspicious, looking out for the security golf carts. Right. And I turn a corner, and before I even see the house, I see the Snoop DeVille sitting in the front yard.
That's so cool.
And I look at the house, I'm like, bingo. So I run up, I knock on the door. As I'm getting ready to knock on the door, him and a member of his security team are actually getting ready to come out.
Oh my God. And just real quick, sorry, I kind of lost track of the story. You're still selling magazines?
Yes,
okay,
I'm still selling magazines.
Just make sure, yeah.
Yes,
okay, sorry.
yes. So in an instant of a flash, I have a gun in my face.
Whoa.
And I was like, yo, I don't mean any trouble, but I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm selling these magazines, trying to win this contest. Take a trip anywhere in the world, $20,000. I don't mean no trouble. So the security guard was like, okay, I'm sorry. That was just kind of a crazy coincidence.
Wow.
So Snoop said, so what did you say you were doing again? So I kind of gave him the whole spiel.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, okay, that's cool. Him and his wife had some things going on, so he actually wasn't able to write a check, but he had his security guy write a check. His gardener was there. He bought some magazines.
Dang.
But the whole time I'm talking to him, he has this blunt behind his ear.
Yeah.
At this time, I'm a complete pothead.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm traveling the country. And I tell him, I'm like, look, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
It would mean the world for me if I could go back home and tell people that I hit your blunt. And I put this on everything I love is going to sound made up, but This is exactly what he said. Oh, for shizzle.
I love that, bro.
And we walked, we were still standing on the porch, so we walked down the porch, walked around to the back to his man cave.
Yeah.
Shed, this completely stillersed out. And we just sat there and talked and smoked. And
wow.
I was kind of embarrassed because I thought I was going to die at one point because this weed was like
so
100 times stronger.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. He's getting the best stuff on the planet.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I sit there and kick it with him for a few more minutes. I come back out for my pickup. And they come pick me up. It's dark outside.
Yeah.
And my supervisor looks at me. We have one more round, 2 more hours to work.
Yeah.
And he looks at me. He's like, I hope you made your quota. I was like, yeah, I did. He said, good, because you're not getting back out this van. Your eyes are redder than a chili pepper.
Oh,
I was like, good, because I am so baked.
Dude, you got to smoke with the king. Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
Snoop Dogg. That is unreal. Bro, you've got, that job gave you some, incredible experiences as a young man. That's insane, bro.
I've met Nelly's mom. I got to chill with Johnny Cash before he passed.
Are you serious?
I met Floyd Mayweather in Target in Las Vegas.
Wow.
I swear on my kids, yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, autograph, paid for my stuff. It was really, it's amazing that he's such an asshole because he's not really like that.
Right.
He got off a phone call to talk to me and my current girlfriend at the time.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Wow. Dude, that's incredible. So, what do you attribute, just... Because, you're a young guy selling magazines. How in the world do you think you got this, opportunity to rub elbows with so many famous people who just have these experiences?
Honestly, it's a mixture of being blessed and then being in the right place at the right time.
Blessed plus luck or something, yeah.
Yeah, just a lot of, like I said, Floyd Mayweather in Target, that was just a stroke of luck because I couldn't find what I was looking at Walmart, which was right across the street.
Yeah, and you just happened to bounce over. Wow.
And happened to bounce over, and he ended up behind me in line.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is, wow. What a deal. I love the Billy Ray Cyrus and the Snoop Dogg. Man, that is a true live a good story. You have lived a good story so far, my man.
Oh yeah. I did that for 5 years, and the things I experienced doing that in those 5 years, man, it's enough to have a TV show.
For real though, I hope you write a book about that someday, or something where you talk about it. Because I imagine, like you said, if you started really going through and thinking about all your experiences, that's got to be just a wild set of.
Could you imagine? You drop me off, you don't see me again.
Yeah.
But next April, you just so happen to pick me up, and I'm like, hey, Justin.
Wow.
I remember you from last year.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that blow your mind?
That'd be nuts.
I had that happen to me in Philly. I knocked on this lady's door. I kid you not. She was on the phone, and she was like, girl, you remember that magazine guy I was telling you about from last year? He's back.
No.
I was like, what? She was like, I remember you came last year and I got this ESPN from you for a year. It's actually time to renew it.
Oh my God. And you didn't remember at all. You had no idea.
But once I thought about it,
yeah,
I did remember because she was
cool.
one of those ladies that was like all over me.
Was she really?
Yeah, when you go to different sides of the country, they really appreciate the Southern hospitality you give off. Yes, ma'am. Yes. The no, ma'am.
Yep.
And I've gotten laid a few times just because I was saying yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am.
Wow, just by being kind.
Yeah.
And just by being respectful. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I had wives buying magazines that would hide it from their husbands. Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow. Gosh, dude, that would be. Yeah, you really do. At some point, you need to start just jotting down every single memory you have, because that would be. It probably wouldn't be a really, really long book. It'd be a great, easy read, and it would be fun. Yeah, dude, that would be so cool, dude.
Yeah, like I mean, could you imagine? You're in Orange County. You're standing on this street like you see in the magazines and on TV. It's a straight street lined with palm trees. Yep. The sun is setting. Yeah. But you look up and you notice snow-capped mountains. Snow-capped mountains in LA. Yeah? Yeah. You can see them really good from Rancho Cucamonga.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Sorry. Yeah, I forget that.
I was amazed to find that was a real city, too. Rancho Cucamonga. I was wow. Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a great experience. It actually took something very bad to happen for me to be able to even come up on that opportunity.
Really?
Yeah. I had gotten locked up.
Oh wow.
And I was in jail for about a month and a half. Ugh. And when I came out, I went back to a previous job at Checkers, but the new manager there I just didn't get along with. And I was sleeping on the floor of my friend's studio apartment. Dang. And I just so happened to see this ad in the paper that said, hey, leave Atlanta tonight, road rules type environment. So and this is when I knew it was meant to be. I called the ad and the guy kind of took my information, but kind of blew me off a little bit. Yeah. So I called my girlfriend at the time. Yeah. And told her, I was like, yeah, I just called about this job and And she was like, what was the phone number? She was like, yeah, I used to do that. Whoa. It's selling magazines door to door. She was like, I used to work for that company. Wow. So she was literally like, hold on. She put me on hold. No. Called the guy back on three-way. Was like, yo, Big A, it's She was like, yeah, the guy that just called you from Atlanta, that's my boyfriend. I left that night and went to St. Louis.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I've been to every state except for the Dakotas.
Really? You even went to Alaska?
Alaska, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, Guam, Mexico.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
One Christmas we be in Vegas. The next Christmas they rent out a whole resort in Rosarito Beach, Mexico. Wow. 4th of July we're up on the Jersey Shore.
So what kind of, like, as a young guy traveling the country, what kind of money are you making selling these things on average in like a year or something? Like what does that look like, and then what's all the comp package?
I will say my worst year was about 40 grand.
Okay.
My best year was about 175.
Are you kidding me?
All cash.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
And then you got to think, like, you don't have any bills really.
No.
I mean, the company I worked for, they would charge you about $8 per night for your hotel, but you're staying in 5-star hotels.
Jeez.
Like literally, I was in San Francisco staying in the Sheraton to overlook the bay.
That's insane, because that's probably a $700 a night or $600 a night room.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're literally paying maybe $13 a day in bills. But since there's not one bank in every city in America, right, they do your banking for you and just automatically take your bills out every day. Okay. But you watch everything they do.
So they're not like being shady about it.
No. Every day they put in your information, your sales, and everything updates automatically, so you see everything that's going on.
I imagine this whole, like, the internet revolution probably really killed the magazine sale business.
Funny that you say that. I decided to look up the company I used to work for the other day on Google, and they're out of business.
Yep. Yeah. I know. What are you gonna do? Yeah.
Right.
It's just.
It's actually right here where this white car is.
Right here. Okay, awesome. Dude, Jay, you're the man. Thank you so much for sharing your stories. They're
you're so welcome.
Yeah, and you know what's cool is like some people when they tell you these kind of stories, you're like, oh, come on. And you kind of walk away and you're like, no way. Like, maybe I'm a naive or whatever, but I 100% believe everything you told me. Like, you just have that vibe of like, you've done it. I can just feel that you're the real deal. Like, you really had these experiences.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
so
I actually
boss,
have
bro.
people that will verify them.
No, I'm just saying I believe you. Like, there's no part of me that's like, he's running game on me. Like,
because the girl I was dating at the time while I was selling magazines, we ended up having a daughter together. So we're still, we still talk all the time. And anytime people don't believe me, I just call her up. And she's the type of people that if I'm lying, she'll call me.
She'll call you out. Yeah, she got no reason to cover for you.
Right, like I blew her mind because I grew up with T.I.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I was telling her, I know T.I. So one day she was like, you don't know T.I. So I called him.
Dang.
And let her talk to him.
Bro, and
so then from then on, anytime I told somebody I know T.I. and they'd be like, you don't know T.I. I was like, yeah, he does.
Yeah, that's crazy. Dude, anyways, back to what I said. Thank you so much for sharing, man. You are the man. Thank you.
Hey, it was my pleasure. It was my pleasure.
Yes, sir. Gosh, what a life. What cool stories. To be invited into homes with people known the world over and to hang out, or in Snoop's case, to get to smoke a joint with him in his man cave, that's just crazy. And it doesn't even come close to all that he has gotten to experience with his job. I really hope he does end up writing a book. I'd buy that in a second. So this next group of 3 riders are basically family through blood and choice. The first part of the ride, they talked about how the guy in the middle had just gotten a big promotion, so they were going out to celebrate. The lady to his left is a therapist and talked about the challenges that the pandemic had made for people, and the guy to the right was a music producer and encouraged other producers to keep chasing their dreams. The part I left in was the end, when I asked them about their lives as a family.
Story number 201. Friday, April 2nd, 2021, 9:26 p.m.
I mean, I know you're all expecting like a juicy story here or anything like that, but I don't know. I think with any family, we all bicker, we all disagree, and we've had some times where, oh my God, like I hate that person and that.
If I may, if you're at the point where you hate somebody, you got to tell yourself you care that much.
That's right.
That you hate that person. So there is love there. Just don't ever forget that. There's love there.
Yeah.
There's that much enough of love to where you hate that person and you're feeling animosity. Mm-hmm. You're wanting to bicker. You're wanting to fight. This and that. Drop that shit.
Yeah.
And move on.
So good.
Because life will be easier.
Yeah, and I'd say to your point, I think it's something I realized a long time ago. Actually, indifference is the deadliest emotion to have towards someone when you just literally couldn't care less about them. Right.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And there's one thing that Jay-Z said, and it's something that I live by. But nobody wins when the family fights. Yeah. So that's something that I agree with, and it's something that I've been going with. So
I just want to say one thing. As we're on this trip. On our left here is a Dunkin' Donuts. That was my very first job in Atlanta.
Oh wow!
And I just wanna shout that out. Shout out Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, I love it.
Great coffee, great donuts. You feel like
I love it.
Ishiko, do you have any traumatizing stories?
Excuse me, mister. I worked at Dunkin' that had cockroaches.
Okay, but do we leave the cockroaches out of the donuts?
Yes, we do.
We do.
Okay. Then we're good. Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? It's the South.
Hey, man, things happen.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Guys, thank you so much. You guys are awesome, and I hope you guys have an absolutely amazing night out on the town.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us on here. It was a pleasure.
My pleasure, sir. Take care.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks, JC.
It's such a good point to remember that if you have the energy to be angry with someone, it could very well mean that you actually care. And if you care, don't hang on to the anger for too long. It will only hurt you if you hold on to it. We cut into this next story after this young lady said she dated a guy who immediately started telling her he loved her, even though she wouldn't say it back to him. The story picks up after they've broken up, and he's done some embarrassing things online.
Story number 202. Friday, April 2nd, 2021, 10:02 p.m.
Okay, but one day I posted a TikTok that kind of involved him, but like low-key, but then he texted me separately. After he blocked me, he unblocked me.
Okay.
So I texted him, he texted me, told me to apologize, said that he violated me and everything.
Wait.
So I had to write a handwritten note to him saying that I was sorry for everything I had done to him, everything I said for breaking up with him.
Hold on. He said he violated you or you violated him?
She said I violated him.
Okay, yeah. You said he violated you, but that didn't make any sense. All right, so he said you violated him. Just real quickly, when I hear somebody violated somebody, I know kind of what springs to mind, but what did he mean by you violated him?
I did post a TikTok about mentioning his name, but he did low-key sexually assault me when I was drunk.
Oh.
Which was not good.
No, that's not good, and that would be him violating you.
I know, but so I got so pissed at him, but I had to write a note to him so he wouldn't tell literally people about me and ruin my reputation. So he was literally on a mission to ruin my reputation.
So he was blackmailing
ruin my
you.
life.
Yeah.
But he literally did sexually assault me, but I am a nice person. I did not tell anyone about that.
I'm by the way, I'm so sorry that happened, and I hope that, and I know you're young, right? So you get a chance to live and learn on this, but don't let anybody shame you into being quiet if they genuinely sexually assaulted you. That's so not cool.
It was absolutely horrible. I had no idea what was going on at the time because I was just a moment where I was extremely vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what to do because that has never ever happened to me before. But it was while I was dating someone else too.
Oh Jesus.
Which was the worst part, and he knew about it, and it was just a really, really, really tough experience that I really learned from.
Yeah.
But now I know that guy is just
he's not good news.
Absolutely the worst and not worth it whatsoever.
No. And he clearly didn't love you, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. And he would tell everyone that he said it's a joke, but he literally said it through text. He literally said it to me in person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why would you ever say that to me? And he violated me so much, and I'm like, you don't deserve anyone because you did that.
No.
You need to at least learn something from that. Mm-hmm.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Well, Miss M, thank you for sharing. That was a lot of moving parts in that story.
It was.
But I hope somebody at least walks away if they hear the story and if something like that happened to somebody else, speak up for yourself, for real. Right?
Well, I mean, yeah, it is really tough because a lot of these guys just think they could get away with it, and it's just horrible because they think it's just a joke.
Right.
You know, it's funny. They're horny. They can do whatever they want. It doesn't matter. But
No, but that's part of you to set boundaries for yourself and loving yourself enough to stand up for yourself. So hopefully, you, God forbid that ever happens again, but you know how to stand up for yourself.
Yeah, I learned a lot from that relationship, as bad as it was.
Yeah.
I learned so much from it, and I've grown from it, and that is the important part.
That is. Mm-hmm. Yep, life is a big learning journey. So, well, again, Miss M, thank you for sharing. You're amazing.
No problem.
Honestly, kind of sad. She's still young, and I'm sure she'll learn, but to feel like she needed to be the one to apologize just to keep him from ruining her reputation is pathetic. Anyways, hopefully he stopped taking advantage of women who are inebriated and she starts making better boundaries for herself. next is a cute story about dating a guy that you end up realizing is not your boyfriend.
Story number 203. Friday, April 2nd, 2021, 10:09 p.m.
Okay, so I was in a relationship in 9th grade. That was one of those really kind of cheesy middle school, like nothing really happens, but you say that you're like boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yeah, as you do.
And one of my friends, who's actually right next to me, was like in love with the kid the entire time and was the one that set up the relationship. No, but she's been dating him for 2 years now.
Okay, awesome.
So like,
so it worked out.
when it's like, okay, like it's okay. Obviously they were meant to be together. But the whole story is kind of funny because we dated for a really long time.
Okay.
And it never really like amounted to anything. And she would like join our FaceTime calls and stuff and be like, but I don't like him. And we'd be like, and I was like in the relationship with the kid and I was like, oh, but like I know you like him. And she's like, oh, I don't. And we were like, but you like it was obvious to everyone except her.
Right. That's
and then,
so cute.
And so the drama was, though, that we ended up breaking up, and it was like kind of like one of those mutual things. It's like, okay, cool, like we don't really actually like each other or whatever.
Right.
She didn't tell me, but then she ended up getting into a relationship like right after because everybody knew except her. And then like eventually by the end she sort of like realized, and so they ended up getting a relationship.
Nice.
But like in that brief period of time there was still like a little bit of like animosity because it's kind of like awkward, like what do you do? And she got a little upset when I wasn't talking to her to the point where she started banging her head on the
Wait, what? She became a headbanger?
Walker.
Oh, no.
And we were like, wait, what's going on, man? And then, anyway, they've been in a really cute relationship for about 2 years. But it was definitely interesting how it all came to be.
Well,
and it was kind of funny, but it's really cute.
That is, yeah, because, they're sort of in bro code. You can't date the girlfriend of your bro, right? That's part of bro code. I don't know how girl code is. I'm not trying. Yeah. So.
But it didn't really count. I don't know if that makes sense. So it was okay.
It was the middle school crush. Yeah. So
pretty
that's
much.
Cool. But I love that you guys are still friends, and hopefully she stopped banging your head on the wall. All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Eventually.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Here's to staying friends, even if you end up dating your said friend's former boyfriend. This next story is also pretty short, but it is not a happy one.
Story number 204. Friday, April 2nd, 2021, 10:45 p.m.
I recently lost my brother on November the 11th of this year.
Oh, wow.
And so he got shot and murdered, and they're still looking for the person who did it. But the crazy thing about it is that they think that the girlfriend had something to do with it and her husband, because she was playing like both sides. She was saying she wasn't with her husband no more, and her and my brother lived together and was together. And then when my brother got out of jail, I guess he must have caught her back with the husband or something. And that day when he went to her neighborhood, I guess they got into it. Yeah. And he got shot in like his chest, and he ended up dying like when he ran into the neighbor's yard.
Oh, God.
But she changed the story like 4 or 5 times. So right now it's still under investigation about my little brother, my only brother at that.
Oh my God. How have so you said you're the only other sibling? Is either of your parents alive?
My dad is, but my mom's passed, so now it's just me and my dad.
Okay. How are you guys holding up under this?
It's different days. It's hard, but it's different days. And my brother got 2 little boys.
Oh, gosh.
So my nephews are going through it too because their dad is gone, and one of my nephews, he's a teenager, so he understands, but it's like he's hurt behind it because he don't know what really happened to his dad. Like he knows, but he don't know who did it.
Right. Yeah. That is crazy. What's your do you have a theory at this point, your own personal theory, or do you not really even know what to think yet? in terms of what went
I feel
down?
like that she did have something to do with it because the story keep changing, and because of the location where he was at, and just how everything played out. And I just know my brother, and I know my brother had to let his guard down for anybody to do that to him, because I just know how my brother is, and he's never gonna let his guard down unless somebody he know.
Right.
For nobody to walk up and do that and like shoot at him at his car that close.
Wow. Gosh, I am so sorry. That's losing a loved one is unbelievably painful. How have you been sort of working through your grief, and what's been keeping you going through this?
I more so just try to stay busy, been partying, drinking, stuff like that.
Okay. Have you thought about counseling or?
No.
Okay.
Nah.
And then what's sort of your what just keeps you from getting depressed? Oh, keep going straight.
Being with my daughter.
Okay. So you have a kiddo to live for. And
yep.
That's some of the best reasons in the world to stick around and to not let depression just overwhelm you, because that could be, that's so hard. Well, man, thank you so much for sharing your story, and I hope that it gets straightened out and you get some resolution.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I feel like this one falls under the you never know what someone is walking through. You can hear the pain in her voice. I hope she finds some answers, but mostly finds peace and forgiveness. Our final ride for the night is a twofer. The first lady is the party girl and keeps things light. And the second lady is heartfelt and uplifting.
Story number 205. Saturday, April 3rd, 2021, 12:40 a.m.
One day I was in Kelly Drive trying to be like spontaneous and stuff.
Yeah.
And I started having sex in the car.
Nice.
And the runner came up and knocked on the door. She was like,
"Oh no.
Hey, are you okay in there?"
Did she think you're
I
getting
hear
like mugged or
screaming.
something?
She probably thought I was getting kidnapped, but I just was getting hit.
Yeah. So you're having a really good time, and this like good Samaritan runner thinks that you're
She
something
was
bad's
trying to.
happening.
Yeah, she should have mind her business at that time, cause.
Aw. Yeah. What did you say to her?
I just was like, "Ma'am, go away."
That's right.
I gotta finish.
That's right. Yeah, don't stop in the middle. That's the worst.
Oh man.
I never thought of this before. Is there an equivalent like to blue balls for a girl? I never thought about that.
No, we don't give no blue balls.
just
We
get
get
No.
real angry.
Yeah, which is which would be like your version.
A blue balls, yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
like our version of blue balls. Yeah.
I have literally, so sorry to ask that dumb question, but I've never had that thought till right now. I'm today years old and I had that thought. So that's great.
Here, Kelly.
Oh, and Kelly, do I have permission to use your voice?
Yeah, she can use
your
my
story.
voice. It's not like Keisha's, but I recently, my father recently passed, about like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm finally just starting to, get out of depression and everything.
Wow.
And what makes
popping pussy.
what makes it all, makes me feel a little bit better. Like I came down here, right?
Yeah.
To visit, and we was in the market.
Yeah.
And it's a song that my dad always listened to, and that remind me of him. It played, and my best friend looked at me. She said, "He's with us," and it just like instantly made my heart melt. Like I can now talk about it, so it's growth.
That's
She pop her pussy.
What? She's crazy.
She is. I can see why you hang out with her.
She's someone that can say everything that I wish I could say.
That's right. Yeah,
That's my best friend.
she's like your alter ego.
Exactly.
I love it. But like, okay, so it's been 2 years, and so what kind of things have you done to be able to cope with it? Have you done counseling or just?
So no, not counseling, but my dad was a chef, and I about a year and a half ago, I started to cook. It's really natural, so I cook all the time. But
nice.
I started to, actually start to cook. People wanted to say, "Oh, let me taste your food." So I started selling platters, and it was just a hit. I would start to do it every weekend, and it was just like the money was like, wow. Like I just made a 4-course meal in 45 minutes, and I could make $1,000 in a day off of food. Like it gave me it gave me a different outlook. And then I'm like, you know what?
Wow.
I'm gonna do this for him. Because he loves to cook. So I'm like, I'm going to do this for him.
Yeah.
And that helped me cope with it. And I'm like, yo, this is my dad.
Yeah.
This is him. Like,
Dude, that's incredible. So it's like a connection back to your dad.
Yeah, definitely.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing. Did you have something you feel like sort of kept you going? Oh, this guy's going to hit the curb. Yeah, he's not drunk at all.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I just feel as though that something that keeps me going is just me thinking about how I used to be a year ago. You know what I mean? And where I have come, what God have shown me, what my dad is basically trying to show me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I feel as though I would be selfish to let myself go and not to keep going. When my dad was here, he said I was proud. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm like, Dad, why are you proud of me? You didn't what did I do? I didn't hear anything about you, and that means it's a good thing. Like, you're staying out the way. You're doing what you're supposed to do. Like, I'm proud of you, and I just I think about that just to keep me going. So he wouldn't want me to be sad.
Yeah.
He want me to keep going. Being the person I am, the go getter.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm done with this podcast at this point because she is annoying.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're so
really
welcome.
Amazing. Yeah. Hilarious to think about trying to be spontaneous and get interrupted by a good Samaritan trying to make sure you're not getting harmed while you're actually trying to get head. Classic. And I love that Kelly stays connected to her dad through cooking and continuing to be the daughter that makes him proud. Beautiful. I think we'll end this ride with a brief pondering of what makes for a good friend. There is the age-old idea of opposites attract, which I think works. Not just for those that we are in a romantic relationship with, but probably our closest friends too. I feel like Kelly and Keisha give us a glimpse into the yin and yang of a good friend dynamic. Kelly gets to live her wild side through Keisha, and my guess is that Keisha feels more grounded and probably avoids some trouble, although clearly not all trouble, by hanging out with Kelly. So that's the musing for this week. May you appreciate your seemingly opposite friend just a little bit more. And drive on, my friends. This is what happens when you are a rideshare driver in Atlanta and ask people for their stories. These weren't handpicked people with great stories. They just happened to get in my car and be gracious enough to share with all of us. And who knows, maybe someday you'll be in Atlanta and need to grab a rideshare and end up telling the rest of us the next great story on BCP. I'd actually encourage you to, every so often, just ask a stranger to share a story from their life. You never know what you might learn. I believe that our stories are powerful. They can make you laugh, cringe, cry, or even get you to think or feel differently. Our stories can truly make this world a little bit better place. So please subscribe, rate, and listen to this podcast and share it with as many adults as possible. It would mean so much to me. First and foremost, I want to thank the incredible writers who trusted me with your stories. You're my heroes. Thanks also to all the people in the background who have believed in this project/dream. All of the music on this podcast was found on pixabay.com, and it was free, which is an amazing gift when you're starting a podcast on a shoestring budget.